Hello everyone, Daniel here from the Next Issue Podcast. On today's video, I'll be doing a review for Talk to Me. This movie is from A24. It's released wide this year. I believe it came out last year in some festivals. It's a movie from Australia, which was really interesting to see as I was getting in there. This movie is rated R with a runtime of 1 hour 34 minutes, with a Rotten Tomato score of 94% for the critics, 78% for the audience, which to me it feels maybe a tad low, like just a little bit. I would probably go a little higher, get it up to that uh overall 4 star level. So if you don't know what this movie is about, let me give you a quick synopsis. When a group of friends discover how to conjure spirits using an involved hand, they become hooked on the new thrill until one of them goes too far and unleashes a terrifying supernatural force. This is directed by Danny Filippo and Michael Filippo. Written by Danny Filippo and Bill Hinsman. Uh, we have a cast of Sophie Wilde as Mia, Alexandra Jensen as Jade, Joe Bird as Riley, who delivers a great performance as Riley. Like, he's probably has one of the toughest roles, aside Mia probably. Zoe Tarakis as Haley, Chris Alonso as Joss, Otis Danji as Daniel, and Miranda Otto as Sue. Uh, boy, I so let me preface this. I'm not the biggest horror person in any, like, my tolerance for horror has really diminished as the years have gone by. I think it's just due to the fact that it's very stress. Like, I don't really like putting myself in those type of stressful situations. But I gotta say, this one was really good. There was one, there was one scene where I had to step out of the theater for a second. I kind of knew what was gonna happen, and I just didn't need the visual, or maybe what I made up in my head is worse than what actually happened in the film. Maybe one day I'll go back and rewatch it. But overall, this is a very well paced movie. Very quickly, you get into the thick of it. Like, within the first 20 minutes, you really have everything you need to know about what's going to be happening. Like why things are going to be happening in the rest of the film, which I think makes it for a great. Then you get like an hour or so of just really interesting stuff. This movie's fun. I think the characters are quite approachable. And yeah, it's definitely not for the faint of heart. It's not for those people that, if you think horror movies can just, like, you can forget about it as soon as you leave the theater, or if you can do that, good for you. That's not my experience. And it's also something that you definitely want to be paying attention. Is I mean, you shouldn't use your phone at the theater, but whenever you watch this film, like, you want to be. I think the more you pay attention to it, the more you let the film in, which is a large theme overall, the more you'll get out of it. I think it really smartly utilizes some of the things that are happening, like these challenges in social media and, like, all that, like the way that younger people are kind of getting together and the reasons they're getting together for, which have definitely changed over the decades. I think it just kind of captures that in a very clever way, using it as the premise, right? They're doing these group hangouts to conjure these spirits because not only can they go viral on social media with their videos on their phones, but also they get some kind of, it's like a thrill, like almost a an experience that they would get maybe from, like, a high from doing drugs or something like that, which is just overall in line with, like, horror, teens and horror, like that really plays, I think, very well. um but this movie just kind of shows you some of the freakiest things possible. Like, there are some moments in this that, had I not been there, I was with a very responsive audience. I think I would have been a lot more stressed if I was the only one that was reacting to the movie the way I was. But I think the audience in my theater was very responsive. It wasn't a large crowd, but, like, you could still hear gasps every here now and then. And I think that put me a little bit at ease that, okay, we're all going through the same experience. So it's just a genuinely creepy horror movie. It uses disturbing imagery a lot, uh, which is probably maybe a complaint from some people. Like, they maybe lean too hard into that. But I like the concept. I just really think it's interesting. the whole, the conjuring spirits via this hand. It's in a culture that feels familiar, but it's still very different because this is set in Australia. So like the norms there are like just the way people behave, and all those things are a little bit different. And it uses some really cool techniques to lead you to think that you're going to be scared, and then really uses that as a misdirect for the real thrill. So I had a really good time watching this film. I went first thing in the morning. I think our screening started at 9:30, which is an interesting time for a horror movie, but I got to take advantage of the time. So that was really great. And yeah, it was a fun way to start the day. I've thought about the film pretty much. It's been about a day and a half since I watched it, thinking about what I was going to say in my review and just looking online, seeing what people, how they were receiving the film. So I think it's great. Another advantage of this is that A24 is not a studio that right now is going it's not affected by the strike because they've agreed they're not part of the companies that are being struck against. So if that's a reason that you're maybe trying to avoid some movies, this is one you can definitely check out. A24 has agreed to everything that the writers and the actors wanted, so like there's no issue with them. So that's another plus for sure. So yeah, overall, really enjoyed this. I think I had a good time. It's very quickly paced. I think 90 minutes for a movie is about the sweet spot, unless it's like a more action. Now we've had some long movies recently as well, which I think it depends on the story that they're trying to tell and what they're trying to accomplish, right? But to me, 90 minutes is a very good sweet spot for a horror movie. Just a funny aside, as I was walking into my theater, the trailer for the new Exorcist film was playing. I could tell because I heard the music, so I paused. And this will kind of tell you like my level of horror, I guess, because I saw the poster outside in the theater, and I did not need those images going into a film that was already going to be, I believe, pretty scary from what I heard on the bus online. So I stood in the hallway until I could hear that the trailer for the new Exorcist film had finished. So, do with that information what you will. But if you've seen this film, let me know what you thought about it down in the comments. I'm very glad that it's being very well critically received, because I think that will influence more people to just kind of go check it out. And I think it's important to check out films from independent studios and studios that are doing the right things for the workers. So, as always, thank you for watching, everyone. Remember to share, like, subscribe, hit the bell so you know when we go live. That is most Saturdays, 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. Stay tuned. We have more comic reviews, trailer reactions, TV recaps, all that fun stuff here in the channel. As always, thanks for watching, everyone. Bye bye.